toe. Hot topic dropping knowledge straight from Chicago. And it's our point of view, so tell me what you gon' do. Drop a line, don't be lying, trying to get with the crew. Cause we be talking them facts, exposing them fiction. Man, it's so real that we be causing some friction. Probably something you missing, ain't no need to be dissing. Just relax here and listen, because we spittin' and sippin'. The Stezo Radio Show, 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 the Stezo
Radio Show. Alright, y'all, welcome back, man, to a not so special edition of Stezo Radio, man. We coming to y'all live right now on Facebook and other platforms because word was just announced that Chadwick Boseman has died from colon cancer. If you don't know who he is, I guess the best way to say it, Black Panther. Black Panther, the star of Black Panther and many other movies, but Black Panther was his, I think that's the best way to say it to everybody who don't know his other work, Yeah, he's died at the age of 43 from colon cancer. Reports are saying that he's been battling colon cancer since 2016. And that's when he found out it was stage 3. And I guess, not guess, but it finally took him in. I got the homie Flint the Pimp on the motherfucking scene. And of course I got my homie Yella De La Player. Follow him on Instagram. And we just had to get together and talk about this, man. Now I'm just gonna give a brief background of these two guys. Flint the Pimp owns a fucking Black Panther mask that's like between $300 to $500. So he's just not I want to talk about Chadwick. He's a fan of the man. And if y'all been listening to the show for the past 2-3 months, you already know how deep Yellow Daylight Player go when it comes to that Marvel universe. So I feel like it's fitting that we three talk about Chadwick in a positive light. It's a sad day that he died, but we trying to give y'all some positive, and maybe it'll open the eyes up for men, especially black men, to start taking their health a little more serious. How y'all doing, fellas?
It's a sad day. I'm so ready for 2020 to be over with.
Yeah.
And I equally agree on that. This year has been a year, let's just say. Man, I don't know how to feel about nothing. Like this just, if it was that same feeling with Kobe all over. Yeah. And we lost Kobe and shit. God damn.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. It's the equal thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like alright. You put it in perspective. I had two to three deaths. One in career when I was young. And me, playing your back and probably, I'm saying, feeling that one. You know what I'm saying? And that's that hurt. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm low. Dude, like when I heard that shit earlier, I ain't nothing like I had to fight that shit. Like just talk that shit a little bit. Shit like, you know what it is, Yella? I think we don't have a lot of black prominent figures that's in mainstream like that. You know what I'm saying? When you can't go back and see no baby mama drama or no arrest warrants, you know what I'm saying? No bullshit, just everything. I promise you, everything you gonna read, hear about Chadwick Boseman is all gonna be positive.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna find an arrest warrant. You ain't gonna find no disgruntled baby mama, or you ain't gonna find nothing there. I'm like, man, he was he was one of the leading, and I know all he did was act, but outside of his acting, you don't see no real life focusness with the man. Everything was always positive.
Yep.
You know, and that shit I think kind of hurt, because there's not a lot of us out there like that. You know what I'm saying?
Especially
bringing him up on brick charges, none of that shit.
Especially in Hollywood, like you don't get this. You don't get this type of actor. I mean, the man played so many roles. I remember the backlash he got when he played Thurgood Marshall, and you know, of course, it was the whole skin tone thing. But the backlash was so minor because of who he was. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else, they probably would have drugged that shit. You know what I'm saying? For who knows how long.
You have to think about it like this. Even when you're looking at Denzel, I don't think anybody has played more prominent black figures recently than Chadwick Boseman. From Jackie Robinson to Thurgood Marshall to James Brown.
Oh yeah, that James Brown role was a motherfucker.
You know, to T'Challa, and the fact that, you know what I'm saying, man, shit, he died at 43, bro.
Right. I turned 42 in a couple of days. That shit spooked the fuck out of me.
You know, and the fact that he been battling this shit for 4 years, like, this shit is fucked up.
It really is. Now, it's funny you brought up Denzel, because I seen a couple of interviews where it was found out. You know, Denzel Washington, he does a lot for a lot of, I don't know if you want to say underprivileged, but I guess he paid for some scholarships. And one of the scholarships he paid for this acting school, yeah, was Chadwick Boseman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I didn't hear that.
yeah.
I never heard that. Chadwick said that a few years ago, that if it wasn't for Denzel, he wouldn't even be an actor. Because he paid for his school and for him to go, you know what I'm saying, to go to acting school and shit.
Right. That I was like, oh shit. You know Denzel a fool. He said, oh, so you owe me some money? I thought that was funny, but that connection was like, damn. And you know what's crazy? Somebody, because you know when it happened, everybody started sending me all this info. Somebody sent me the movie he did. Was it The Four Blood Brothers on Netflix?
Yeah, the Five Bloods.
Yeah, The Five Bloods. And you know I watched that, and they said, hey, do you notice how skinny he is?
Yeah.
And I really didn't.
He had surgery and was going through treatments during his last 3 things.
Right.
What was the other one where he was a cop in the streets?
21 Bridges.
21 Bridges, which was, I don't know if you seen it, it was actually a good ass movie.
Hey, I like that movie. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a good ass movie. It was under the radar. It was a good ass movie too.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't seen it, but I'm like good review.
Yeah, check that out. Check out 21 Bridges, because I like that movie. It was a cop drama, but it wasn't one of those movies that you can kind of predict the ending. You know.
It was a good ass movie. Yeah, I didn't have any complaints.
Nah, me neither. That shit was good. Yeah, but that shit was actually good. And you right, that shit didn't get a lot of attention when it came out because you know everything going on, but no, that was a good movie. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Stezo Petty, you know what I'm saying? My girl went to the show to go see the Jackie Robinson movie with some other motherfucker. So I purposely did watch that movie. You know what I'm saying? Still ain't seen it. I don't know how good. I heard he was great in that, but I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it.
I don't like I understand the history and shit, but I really don't really care for the whole, you know, black man struggle in the white world shit we've seen so many damn times, but it was still worth watching. You know what I'm saying? It was still worth watching just for how he portrayed the role, and you know what I'm saying, you kind of know the story.
Yeah, you know Jackie's story. But I was worried about Chadwick being, I don't want to say typecast, but I was worried about him being, you know, kind of suffering the same fate that Angela Bassett suffered. It was a time where Angela Bassett got so many roles as the black woman, that they was like, can anybody else play these roles? So when he got the job as Black Panther, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This another league.
He played the hell out of that role.
He did.
Now my question is, where do you go with Black Panther from here?
First off, did they finish it without him? I mean, did they finish it? Is the movie done?
I don't think so. I don't think they started production. To be honest, everything was put on hold because of the COVID.
Oh, really? See, I thought they was like, done with filming, but all the extra shit. But damn.
From my understanding, and I could be wrong, I don't even think they started production. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything with Marvel was pushed back a couple years.
Oh, because of the COVID. Because I remember the what do they call it in Marvel when they do the release? When they start showing you the new timeline with the movies. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. I thought they had. Oh damn.
It was planned out, but I don't think. Because I'm gonna be honest, I can't see anybody else in that role. Like, and do you not do it, or do you have to do it because you know what I'm saying? You want to honor him, you want to finish the story arc. Like, where do you go?
Either way it goes, it's gonna be fucked up. If you do it to honor his legacy, it's still gonna be. It's not him on screen. And you can't do too much rewriting. You know what I'm saying? You can't turn around and turn Killmonger into the new Black Panther. Because core fans... I'm just at the right. Because core fans gonna be like, wait a minute, what the fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? You can't put Michael B. Jordan into the leading role. So, I mean, what do you do? It ain't like changing a fucking Anvil from light skin to dark skin. Or dark skin to light skin. This is the star of the movie. It's fucking Black Panther.
Right. You gotta leave it how it is. So you're not gonna do a 2 or 3? I wouldn't even do a part 2. Let the story end how it ended, bro. Let us live with that. Because like Cesar said, nothing's gonna do with them. Nothing's gonna do with justice. You can't finish the movie. Don't do no weird ass CGI shit like they did. You know what I'm saying? And his brother.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, please don't.
It was so obvious. It was so obvious in Fast and the Furious. It really was.
Yeah, it was.
It pretty much, and like, it's one thing for us to remember him, but yeah, we don't want to see like no in memorial movie, because no matter how you end it, like you can't kill off Black Panther, and then you don't want us to give us the false hope that he's still alive. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, it's I wouldn't do it, bro. Let it be how it was. Let it end how it was.
But let's be real though, you got money on the line, so what do you do?
Yeah. And you gotta think about the other actors too. Like, you still want the other actors to get paid. You know what I'm saying? To do a film.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Siri and everybody else, they were too great of characters to just let them down. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be his role. That might be the only solution. That may be the only solution, is to basically move forward with the storyline where Siri becomes Black Panther. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only.
That's
the only person that's been alive in the story that can take up that's canon that has been Black Panther in the comic books.
But does it follow the timeline of the comic book? Because core fans gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
So this is the thing, Black Panthers, but you gotta understand something with core fans. Core fans understand that to a degree, certain roles can't be filled. And core fans understand how it goes. If you have to put in that role, like Yella said, it makes sense. That's the thing that core fans don't like. They don't like when shit don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit back and say, okay, now Black Panther he's no longer T'Challa. It's, you know what I'm saying, Killmonger. They're not going for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Siri, they can go for. I don't know, because it has to be a bloodline, and him and Siri are the only bloodlines left. But you know what I'm saying? T'Challa and Siri were the only two bloodlines left of the king. So you gotta go in that right. I don't know, but even with Siri, in the back of your mind, that entire thing is gonna remind you that Chadwick Boseman died. The entire film you watch. Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's like it's no good way to really go about proceeding with that one. You know what I mean? It's just like I hate to keep bringing up Kobe again, because like we're supposed to be remembering Chad. It's like every image you see of Kobe is not like right now. It's not a remembering. It's just a reminder that he died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like fuck, he is dead. You know, I'm like fuck, he is dead. You know what I'm saying? It's that way to be whatever. But see, the difference is with that yellow, and I kind of agree with you. Kobe had retired. He was done with the game. He gave it all he got. He finished his entire story. It's not like Black Panther 3 had been filmed and it's done and over with. He was at the beginning, not even at the middle. He was at the beginning of his story. And he died. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like I used to watch this show on Showtime called Spartan. And the original character that was in the first 1 or 2 series, he died of cancer. And no matter how motherfuckers told me how good the next 3 or 4 series when they recast it, I never watched 1 episode after doing that. It's like trying to bring back Sons of Anarchy without chance.
Right.
It's gonna be all good. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring back Sons of Anarchy without chance. That's why they get this way with that mind shit. And it's still like half of what Sons of Anarchy was.
Now check this out. I got the release dates of these movies. So these dates are not, actual dates when they recorded the movies. But 2014, Chadwick Boseman was in draft day. Now look at this 2016 lineup. Oh, for y'all that don't know, Draft Day was a movie about the NFL. Just check it out. Kevin Costner was the headline on that. But check out this 2016 and 2017 lineup. He did Gods of Egypt, Message from the King, Marshall, Captain America, Civil War, and then right after that, that's when he started doing, the other, Avengers was 2019, the Endgame. Avengers 2018, they did Avengers Infinity Wars, and of course Black Panther. Now during that time, he also added in 21 Bridges. That's a lot of work for a man who knew he was sick, or I should say dealing with, a serious illness. So I'm starting to wonder, was he putting in the work because he knew that his time may be limited on this earth?
I don't know, but the story that everybody keeps saying about him right now is that his work ethic was unprecedented. And dude, he worked his ass off even while, man, they were saying, dude, he was having treatments, surgeries, through filming and shit, and he never missed a beat.
But do you think that was because he knew he had an ailment that can take him out at any time?
I mean, it could be a part of it, and then it could be the fact of it's something that he loved to do, and he was gonna do it the best he could until he couldn't do it no more.
Like that just makes me look at him in a whole nother light. Cause okay, just to give y'all a time stamp, when he did the James Brown movie, it was released in 2014. So let's just say they filmed it in 2013. Now that James Brown movie kind of put him on the map. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying 42, because that came out in 2013, didn't give him clout. I'm just saying that James Brown movie, that put him on the map. Yeah. And after that, he just seems to go hard. I mean, super hard. So I'm kind of wondering if that was the battery in his back. Like he got the, time is limited.
Yeah, I get that. But just the amount of projects he did within a 3-4 year span, he put out a lot of movies in that span.
Yeah, because we ain't talking about straight to DVD movies. We talking about blockbusters.
Yeah, definitely. But I haven't seen like all of his work and everything he's been in. But I can just say this, man, I ain't seen a bad performance. And the movie overall probably wasn't the best, but I haven't seen a bad performance.
Right.
They gonna fuck around and cast The Rock as fucking T'Challa and like.
Oh shit. Oh shit! Please don't do that. I mean, and again, me and The Rock got issues, but don't do that one. Don't do that one.
It's gonna be that or Denzel Washington.
I'll take him. I like him. He's decent.
I do like him, but I can't. You know what though? It doesn't matter who they put. You're never gonna see. You're gonna see his Chadwick Boseman as a child.
Yep. It's almost like saying you're gonna replace the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Who else is gonna be Will besides Will Smith?
So I got some comments. I got a comment from the chat from Latoya Brewer. She says no need to do a part 2. I mean, see, that's the thing. But this is the thing about it. When you say that, you're thinking of it as in there's no need because of who he is.
Right.
For the comic book story arc, there is a need to do it. There's a need to do it for the comic book story arc, and once again, you got to think about the other actors that also play prominent roles. That man, they need to eat. I want to see them on film. Sperry, Angela Bassett, like all of them, like they still need to further this story arc, and they still need to work, and they still need to act. And that movie was too often chained to not make a part 2.
Yeah, that shit broke records. Let's be real.
Man, an all-black cast, an all-black film, an all-black director, producer, like, come on, man. But that's the first time we've ever had that amount of blackness in a film, and to make $1 billion, you cannot not do a part 2.
I remember me and Yella going back and forth because he was like, man, they doing too much. They coming to the show, they got on kente cloth. You know what I'm saying? They coming to the show. They got buffets set out. They doing all these presentations. Like that movie meant something to motherfuckers. For real. You know what I'm saying? It was like, are they doing too much? They wasn't doing all that for them other Marvel movies. And Marvel is don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Black Panther is Marvel. Marvel is Marvel. If you follow that franchise, Marvel is Marvel. But for whatever reason, Black Panther did something else to Marvel.
Other than the Avengers, I think Black Panther, you can look it up, but I think me doing the research back in the day, I think Black Panther as a solo film made more money than any other Marvel solo film.
Yeah.
More than Iron Man, more than Thor, you know what I'm saying? Like, now when you talk about the actual Avengers, look at that. That was a conglomerate of superstars.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And a conglomerate of superstars. So yeah, but as a solo act, and the biggest name in that film at the time was Angela Bassett and Chadwick Boseman.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They were the only real actual stars. They played the butts in the suit. Man, but they put butts in, and not just in the U.S., around the world. So you clear $1 billion outside of the U.S.
Yeah, that ain't just U.S. money. That ain't just U.S. money. And they cleared $1 billion quick.
Quick. And anytime you got somebody who can hold their weight with Angela Bassett on screen.
Oh, come on now.
She go act.
Hell yeah, she is.
She go act like a motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
So if you got somebody that can hold his own with her on screen, then yeah. Even if he is the main character, you know what I'm saying? We talking about Andy, so
Yeah. Yeah, we ain't talking about Lala. We ain't talking about Lala. You know what I'm saying?
And look, because I got questions about my actions.
What the first question is, why did you use skills in that sentence? That's the first question. But I want to tap into what y'all was saying earlier before we started recording with this year 2020. How y'all doing, man? Because I mean, this year is really getting me super. Like, I gotta catch myself sometime to make sure that it ain't over. If that make any sense. You know what I'm saying? It's so much happening in this one year that it really got your ass looking around like, man, what the fuck am I here for? Why am I saving money for my retirement type shit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, I've been spending money like 40 going north because this shit is so fucked up right now. I don't know if the dollar gonna even be worth a dollar next year.
Right. They just told us it's a shortage on coins.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this fucking year in itself. I mean, let me ask y'all a question, and I'm gonna let both of y'all answer. If we had what's considered a normal year, but we still had these prominent people passing, would it bother you as much?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
Maybe not to the extreme. Like, Kobe was hard. That shit was hard. Kobe was hard. Yeah, it don't matter what year that was. Yeah, Kobe was hard. Chadwick, that shit hard too. That shit, Kobe and Chadwick passing. I think I felt Kobe more like, I sat there and stared at the TV because I was in disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kobe was, and Chadwick was out of nowhere too, but like, damn, like honestly, if you could reset that one day, Kobe would still be alive. If you could reset this day with Chadwick Boseman, and it was a disease or an illness that took some years to take him from us.
Right.
We know about it, but it was inevitable. There was nothing we could do to kind of stop it. Kobe he could have just missed the flight, the helicopter flight, and everything would have been coached.
Now the reason why I asked that question is because we've had, in our lives, like, it wasn't in the same year, but you had Pac and Biggie pass within 12 months. You had damn, I got a brain fart right now. But you had Nipsey pass, you know what I'm saying, in a year. And I don't think that, not saying they death didn't hit us hard, but because life was relatively normal, yeah, it was still normal, it just really didn't hit us because of what we was going through. Now we going through this whole pandemic and deaths. I'm just wondering, is it just too much because of our everyday living? Like I can't leave the house without a mask. Before it was I had to make sure I had my keys. You know what I'm saying? But now I can't leave the house without a mask, and now I gotta match my mask to the outfit I'm wearing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm just really asking, like, do y'all think that this is hitting more harder because of what we dealing with? Because I personally think it is.
No, it definitely is. It's definitely got some extra steam to it because it's like we in a fight and motherfuckers whooping our ass and they hit us with a knockout blow, and while we falling, they punching our ass up to go while we falling, and that's what the fuck you feel like. So it's like you already rocking, you already real, and then you get a call and like whatever fucked up call you got. Everybody's got some shit you want to call. It's like such and such pains, this is gone, this happened. It's like you're right. Probably any other year, a lot of this stuff look at it famous like this, but sitting still and dealing with this stuff, yeah, because we forced to deal with it.
Exactly. And that's why I'm really hoping that, I don't care, male, female, black, white, whatever your color is, you can take time out to kind of just chill, have a little me moment. I think me moments right now, I need it so motherfucking tough because I don't know about y'all, but don't it feel like every week you get bad news?
Yep, I was about to say that. Every time I'm recovering to something, I get another I get another fucking right look to the face. Like, God damn. Like, I can't even be. This year has been literally a heavyweight fight with Tyson in his prime. Every time you get hit with that right hook, you turn around and you go uppercut, nigga.
Right.
How long I'm gonna stay on my feet?
Right.
That's what I said. That's what I said. It feel like motherfuckers whooping our ass this year. We not ass. Look, we can't bring our wins up. I don't know about y'all. The nigga, I'm waiting on the bell to ring, nigga. I need right on shit like this shit.
It's like the bell. It's like the bell never coming. Like the bell is just like, eh. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like from, you know, you got the protests happening. You got the riots happening. You still got cops killing black people unarmed. It's like, damn, what the fuck?
Nigga, you got the cops with motherfuckers shoot niggas. Not even black people, but just shooting people in the street and letting them go home.
Yeah.
Real talk, like this is we got a double hurricane about to happen.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that is what's tripping me out. Like we got a hurricane. We got 2 hurricanes coming back to back.
Right, they fucking twins. We got twin hurricanes. Come on now. Twin hurricanes? What the fuck?
You know who mad though?
Who?
This is me trying to ask, being light about the mother right now. The murder hornet mad as hell. They got no play this shit. He thought he was in like, you know what I'm saying? My 2020 on
right. Murder hornet.
Murder hornet can't kill nobody. Murder hornet can't kill nobody if COVID getting everybody first and keep everybody in the house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck you, he ain't got nobody to stay in this bitch.
I remember when 2020 started, it was the rumor of legalized weed in Illinois, and it was like, hey, check that out. You know, it was a little bright side, you know. But look at us now. And we still got 4 more fucking months. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like 2021 around the corner like that. We still got 4 more fucking months to get through this year.
Wait a minute, this the fucked up part. So we done had 2 mild winters. What you think this winter about to be like?
Man.
Man, this winter about to be hell. This shit's about to be fucked up, and y'all don't even realize it. And for all the workers like myself that work outside during the wintertime, oh dude, these last 2 winters been ugly.
Yeah.
Like we ain't really had it like that, so we know it's coming. And if it come this year, dude, like I said, shit, I'm going to bed, and I'm waking up in 2020. Where's my Michael Jackson cryo chamber that I could just pass the fuck out in here? And y'all unthrow me in 2021. Not even in January. Unthrow me in March. Let me get all that bullshit out the way.
But shit, the way it's going, you fucking around be a blizzard in March. Like this shit is too unknown. I ain't gonna say new. It's too unknown. You've never had a year like this where every generation is like, what the fuck is going on? Normally it'd be like, what's going on? And then some old head would be like, oh, well, you know, back in blah, 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 where you had it. They looking at us the same way, scratching their head like, I don't know.
You know, old head's one like we saying in the house is we susceptible to 2020. You're cold, you're susceptible to 2020.
Right.
That's what niggas really catching up. 2020, fucking 2020. Every damn thing is out the key. And especially, I don't know what's going on with, fuck the State of the Union, but just the state of Black America. You know what I'm saying? The state of Black America is so fucked up right now.
Does it exist?
You know what I'm saying? It does, because Black America is the one doing, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily rioting, but they're the ones out there protesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, when have you 41 years I've been on this planet, the one thing that has always been constant is sports.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you can always depend on. If it ain't basketball, it's football. If it ain't football, it's baseball, it's soccer. But I've never seen all sports shut down for an entire day. And it might seem minuscule, you know what I'm saying, on the grand scheme of things, but that's some real shit with all sports. Even fucking hockey shut the fuck down.
No, hockey. I don't think hockey shut down.
Yeah, it did. Shut down Thursday. Yep.
Oh, it did? Oh.
Yes, hockey, Major League Baseball, soccer. Like, it's not even that prominent in the U.S.
Right.
Like that. It ain't one of the major sports, and they shut down for the day. Like it's shit. It ain't got nothing to think about. You don't really have anything to do with COVID. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to really do with a disease or nothing like that. It just got the simple fact to do with black people are dying in the streets. They should not be dying.
True.
At the end of the day, I mean, we can go back decades and pull it out. Social media just put it to the forefront. You know, man, whether now the entire world can see.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how much influence social media has on this, but I just think the year is fucked up, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why?
With the spread of it. I think without social media, I don't think it'd be rioting and shit like that right now.
You mean as far as them organizing and being able to communicate?
Stezo. No. And y'all know too. In the 90s, man, motherfuckers cops was killing people left and right.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Left and right. It's just, it was secluded to your city and your area. So you didn't really see it on the grand scheme that it was happening everywhere. You just thought, oh man, Chicago police is fucked up.
Yeah, that's true.
But now you see it's police everywhere. Okay, goddamn, I can't go to any other city and it's the same shit. Like, what the fuck? Where is our haven? You can't name me one city where you literally feel 100% safe from police. Not from other motherfuckers out on the streets, from the police. You can't name me one city where you like, man, I'm not worried about the cops at all. If I'm not doing nothing wrong, I ain't gotta worry about the cops shooting me.
Well, did y'all see the group of black Americans who got, well, it was a group of black families, they got together and they bought land down there in Georgia to start their own city? Did y'all see that post?
Yeah. See that? Like 19 families.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically brought it down. Land to build it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next step. Seriously.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have motherfuckers outside of that city drawing up on that city, and that's big facts. And real shit, bro. As long as we can have legal cities, bro. As long as it's in their country, we ain't gonna, it ain't gonna work. Honestly, up there, America, it ain't gonna work. I believe, dude, to be honest, what really needs to happen is that you gotta start reform from the top. From the top down, I was having this discussion earlier. Supposedly, if the highest office in the land, you can only serve 8 years total, then every office up underneath it needs to have limitations and restrictions on how long you serve. Because that's the problem. And I mean all the way down to chiefs of police and captains and lieutenants and everything else. You gotta realize, by the time you become a chief, a captain, or a lieutenant, you already got 20 years in the force.
True.
So that last 5-10 years of you being captain or chief should be your retirement years. You shouldn't be able to hold a seat in Congress for 30 fucking years. Look at the Supreme Court. Son, I think the average age of the Supreme Court is what, like 70 or some dumb shit like that?
Yeah.
How many laws changed? Since you've been in the fucking, you know what I'm saying, in the office, how many laws have changed?
Yeah. And they always say the older you get, the more stuck in your ways you become.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, so my problem is I think that anybody that's been serving in political office that has not been going for reform in the last 10, 20 years, at least the last 20 years, they need to be out. All of them. I don't give a fuck. From the top down, all the way down. All of the entire Senate, Congress, mayors, legislation, everything, because you're part of the problem because you weren't protesting that everything is wrong and this shit needs to be changed because you were following status quo. I honestly do believe that over the last 30, 40 years, I do believe our country has gotten less racist just because I think the younger generation are not as racist as the older generation, the old guards, I should say.
Okay.
But as long as they're there, it's always going to be there.
But how do you convince an old head that his way is the wrong way today? Think about it.
You vote him the fuck out. You show him. Yup, you voted him and let him along. Bro, first of all, you gotta go. No significant change in history does not come without sacrifice. And then all motherfuckers have to sacrifice them checks they've been clearing and the money that they've been taking. And still, that's where lobbyists and shit come from. Where lobbyists come from because they've been paying these politicians for the last 10, 20 years and they don't want to give up their bread. So if a young new person come in with ideas, and I think a lot of politicians start out with good intent and ideas, but the old people in their ways and their money influence them and have them turn them up the cheek because I'm making all this bread. I put it to you like this. You know, this is an analogy you can feel it. Booker T is a black wrestler, right? Mm-hmm. And in the 90s, he literally went on television with a white wrestler, and the white wrestler on live television told him that you are not here to be a superstar. You are here to entertain me. You make me laugh, you joke, all this shit, but you're not here to be a champion. And he followed that storyline along with it. And when they asked him about it, he was like, well, man, look, I was getting paid, so I ain't never cashed this much check. And I thought to myself, so you sacrificed your principles and your culture for money. At the end of the day, that's what you did, and it was a handout. Like, nigga, you wasn't making half of what that white motherfucker was telling you what you are. You weren't making half of his money. And he still didn't win the belt. So it wasn't But he got paid. That storyline, I know we talking about some wrestling shit, but that storyline they didn't even end with him winning or overcoming that shit. So the reason why I brought that up because that's the analogy in the city and everywhere else. We get these black politicians and shit. You know what I'm saying? Outside of, you know what I'm saying, everybody in your age, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, or whatever the name is. And the black politicians. Look at fucking the VP, the Democratic VP nomination. What's her name?
Oh, you talking about Indian Harris?
Yeah, Kamala Harris. True enough, yeah, it's a story. She's black, all of this stuff. But the laws that she passed
she ain't black.
In California, even still, the shit, she's black. According to white people, she's black. She got a house, she's black.
Nah, according to her, she ain't black.
But even still, the laws that she passed, I'm not going to sit back and overlook the flaws that she did. Why? Because that's how she got in the office. She had to appease the white people in the state that she was in, the district attorney. Mm-hmm. And she wound up locking up a lot of black people. And the laws she passed really focused on minorities. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because she was trying to toe that line in status quo.
Well, just so everybody know, while she was towing that line, she also made it a point not to convict any Catholic priest for molestation and pedophilia. So while she was towing that line, she was choosing what side to be on.
And like I said, it's not like I'm sitting back saying that she did really good for black people, but she did enough bad where I don't think it was justified.
But look at your choices though. Look at your choices now. You got her and Biden, and you got Trump and Pence.
Right. So you literally gonna take the lesson of tweets. But yes, that's why I say everything needs to change. All of that shit, if you've been in politics this long, all of that shit, because you've done enough bad shit, that shit is going to follow you. And it's still gonna bring some of that status quo to where you are.
But look how they played the game. They brought Kamala on to bring that quote unquote youth. She younger than Biden.
It was for the black folks. It was for the black folks. And this is gonna sound like some typical yellow shit. It's for the black folks and the black women.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, so it was for the youth. Don't give a fuck. They don't vote for anybody else. They don't vote for anybody else in Trump. The youth don't care about who. Because they don't want none of the older folks in charge. Like, if you hear the young people talk, they don't like the fact that these older folks is in charge. I agree. They say the same shit from say, dude, we need to see the next president. Bro, I'm put it like this. By the time, and I said it before I say it again, by the time the next election come around, I'll be 35. Yo, we need a president that's like 40 or something. Man.
Ooh, will it happen though?
I doubt it, but you did right. We need somebody. You need somebody in the office that is the entire thing, bro. And like I said, and when I say reform, once again, I'm talking about police chiefs, captains, the goddamn Secretary of State, everybody. All of that shit needs to come down 20 years of age. All of it. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be turns on all of it. Because the America that they grew up in is not the American it is today, and that's why you have it. Now you folks, if you call it protesting and rioting, it's a fucking revolution is what it is. Motherfuckers is fucking tired. And we were talking about this, I was talking about this with Luck. You can sit back and you can oppress a culture for so long where even when the cops are justified, they're still gonna snap the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they've been oppressed for so long and been stepped on for so long, they don't want to hear that shit. They don't give a fuck if you want to justify it. They don't give a fuck no more. Because you've done it so wrong so many times, it don't matter. And that's why I said, I'm not mad at them snapping out. Because our generation has to take some kind of responsibility because in the 90s, we let that shit ride.
Hell yeah, we did.
We let that shit ride, so we added on to the problem. They're just not going. They're like, we don't give a fuck if dude had a gun or whatever the fuck it is. We sick of that shit because you shoot and kill and oppress so many of us for so long. Your justifications don't fucking matter anymore.
But I feel like the reason why we let it ride in the 90s was because we were told as a black person in America, you cannot do A, B, C, D, and E and come home safe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We were so worried about ourselves and not the bigger picture. Because we couldn't see the bigger picture because we didn't have social media the way it is.
But do you think it wasn't so much the bigger picture versus self-preservation? Because you want to get home. So
it's true, but it's one and the same, and they kind of it's like that gray line. When you trying to get home and you not realizing that if everybody is just worried about getting home, nothing will fucking change. Because everybody is worried about sex. We did not make the next generation, our kids' generation, better. We did.
Oh, I agree. I told you, we fucked up. I said it many times.
Yeah.
We fucked up. We dropped the ball.
And now, but this is what happens. What happens is, it's a powder keg, bro. It's exactly what it is. There's so much anger and frustration and shit built up that it was going to erupt somewhere. And honestly, if it don't change, shit just gonna get worse. You see, now, back in our day, man, motherfuckers will protest, they'll do whatever, and somebody will let out a speech and say, okay, we'll give you niggas pennies. The motherfuckers will settle down. Well, at least we got something. This generation, they not going where you either gonna give us what the fuck we want, or we gonna burn this bitch down night after night. Fuck it. Any other time in history, that $1,200 early this year would have calmed everybody down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Man, motherfuckers blew through that shit was like, that's all. That's it.
Yep.
Well, what happened is, honestly, bro, if the police would have I know our black man since then, it might have calmed down, but the police ain't giving a fuck.
Right.
And since they ain't give a fuck, you're like, oh, you thought she was sweet? No, sir. No, sir. We ain't going. Yeah, thanks for the 1,200. Nigga, we still send, y'all still sending it up. We still sending it up.
But if the youth really feel that way, why did the NBA announce that they're going to continue the playoffs?
Because money talk bullshit run a marathon, still the same old guard, nigga.
Yeah.
Just the same old guard.
And that's what, and like I said, I think this was on the Kyrie episode. Like I said, this shit been going on forever. So whether you play basketball or not, I get it. Like I said in the other episode, like I said, I get it. You take that shit away from the motherfuckers. But then at the end of the day, bro, if you look at it, you're like, man, it don't matter what we do. Not like that, but just as far as like sports and entertainment. Right. Like, that's not going to get them to stop. So we can still push our message. Like I was saying, they're doing an awesome job. The NBA is doing an awesome job. You know what I'm saying? Pushing the message, pushing the quality. Like they'll allow the players to have their messages on their jerseys. You know, whatever representation of their shirt or whatever. Like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Just keep doing it. Like that's what y'all. And I think the problem is that some people look to those type of people as the ones who are going to be the answer to the solution. The answer to the solution is the part of the answer to the solution. And they cook too much into, oh yeah, they playing basketball, you know, they take away from this, they distracted from that. Now, if they continue to do what they do, they're covering their ass. They're covering their. Like it's other people like Stezo got a part, Flint got a part, he got it. Yellow got a part, he got it. Everybody got their own part that they gotta play in us getting to where we need to go. So
and on that thing, go ahead, yo. Because I was gonna say on your same note that you were saying is about people in a park. Somebody had posed a question to me, was like, you know, man, where's this generation? You know, Jesse Jackson and, you know, Al Sharpton, like, where are they, you know, where the, you know, not necessarily the spiritual leaders, but where the, you know what I'm saying, man, the civil rights leaders and all this. And I'm sitting back thinking, like, well, if we're still here, those were the voices of the 70s. And we still in the same damn place. So
yeah.
I understand there aren't any because that shit didn't work. Yeah, you might have eased up a little bit of the tension, but you didn't solve the fucking problem. Like, that, the whole marching, protesting thing, that shit doesn't work for what really needs to change. That shit gets you a little bit of progress and we need a whole lot back there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so...
That's funny because I just thought about what you said. You might be a little off base. But if you think about somebody like Jesse Jackson, and you look at, like you said, we still in the same ridiculous that we was in then. You think about it like the only person who is in the clear, they really don't fuck with, is the motherfucker we had representing us. Everybody else still gets fucked with. But those people like Jesse Jackson, like Al Sharpton or whatever, these motherfuckers, they get so far in representing us that they get tight with these motherfuckers. They build a different type of relationship because they're the middleman.
Yeah, it's more personal. It's more personal, their relationship.
Right. It's a little more personal. You're not gonna fuck with them because that's Al or that's Jesse, but then fuck about the rest of us.
Right.
Because we built that relationship.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think also too with the rest of us, all of them motherfuckers is pro peace, and ain't nobody having no peace right now. Like, man, this generation, there's no fucking peace.
Yeah.
Man, and there is no spokesperson for it because everybody feels the same way. And nobody wants peace right now.
And like you said earlier, Flint, they age. That makes a fucking difference. We need some younger energy, you know what I'm saying, on our end too. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Jesse and Al and the Minister Farrakhan can relate to this generation.
Because I can tell you right now, and I understand, you know, the families of these victims going out, you know what I'm saying, putting out press conferences saying, oh, we want peace and all this shit. Let me tell you something. If that shit happen to somebody in my family, I'm gonna be on TV like, burn this bitch, fuck that.
Right.
Fuck that peace shit. They ain't all for peace to my people who got shot, you know what I'm saying, unarmed and whatnot.
Yep.
So burn that shit, fuck that.
And I think that whole we want peace comes after the check. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, hey, look, we trying to ease tensions. If you can do this, we can do A, B, and C. Now, they may not come out saying what they can do, but that George Floyd and his family, the shit I seen after he was, I mean, come on now. After what he went through, that family, well, the spokesperson for the family was real quick to be, can we all get along? You know what I'm saying? You not finna convince me that I'm finna do that shit after somebody I love died like that.
Right. And then if I hear one more person talking about, oh, we can't burn down, or you know, disrupt our own neighborhoods and all of this shit. We don't own none of this shit.
Right.
We don't own none of them stores and shit. Even if it's a black-owned store, he don't own that fucking store.
Right.
He might own the merchandise, and he don't own that land. He don't own that building.
Nope.
Like, dude, I want to hear we don't own shit for you to tell me not to blow shit up or burn shit down. We renting that shit from somebody else, from another white motherfucker. We gotta pay.
But then when they went downtown, they got criticized for that shit. It's like I don't get it.
I hear what you're saying, but it's just a time and place for that shit. Like I said, they moved it the first time they moved it, and I get it. When George Floyd got killed, the first time they moved it, I get it. And last time they did that shit, everybody was shooting with the police.
Oh, no. I don't just that. That motherfucker was shooting at the police. I'm shooting back. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the police.
Right.
But you're doing it for everybody. Thank you for doing it for everybody.
And my thing is, it ain't even about you. You ain't got to change a single thing out that store. You just set that bitch buttons. Like, motherfucker, you lose because America only respects money.
Well, real quick, we got a comment from Parrish, because I've heard this too. He said them playing, talking about the NBA players, them playing has a bigger effect outcome than not playing. Without playing, the platform leaves.
That's one less way for people look like the people in danger to be able to get that message.
But you gotta understand that the reason why they not playing is because you think about it. The same motherfuckers that were protesting, they're making more money off of them black people, or them black players, than the players are making. If they can afford to pay them millions of dollars, they're making billions of dollars also. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, okay, yeah, we don't kill people that look like you. When you yourself, you're making me a shit ton of money, so I need you to be on this corner, on this street, making me that shit tons of money.
And I need you to entertain me.
Yeah, and I need that entertainment. You know what it is? It's the whole Booker T thing all over again. I'm gonna talk shit, man. I'm gonna talk shit about you. You ain't shit. You gotta entertain. So just entertain and do your part. And if there was a crime, he said, stay out of the damn social politics, even though it's affecting your people, and get out here and do what I'm paying you to do.
Damn.
Fuck out of here. So, I got a question for both of y'all. At the end of the day, when all of this shit said and done 20 years from now, do you believe Colin Kaepernick will be the face of the revolution of what kicked it all off?
Hell yeah. He's gonna be the Dr. King. And I hate that because it makes it seem like one man had a problem. But yes, he will be the face.
Because I honestly believe he kind of, not necessarily he started, he was the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To it being where it was. I'm not saying without him, it wouldn't have got here. But I think he foreseen, like every black person, Stezo, and you know, we always said, this shit don't go down eventually. This shit is going down. It's just, we ain't had a platform that you did to put it out there like, nigga, this shit is gonna blow up in y'all face. Shit is gonna go down for real.
But think about this though. Colin Kaepernick wasn't the first, and he wasn't the only player to kneel. But history is gonna ask you, well, who else did it? Because history in the future is gonna say he was the only one. He became the martyr. He became the face for the movement, like Dr. King did. That's the part I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Because all they gonna say is, well, if he was the only pro athlete upset, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Everybody was up under Booker T. Everybody was up under. That's what I'm gonna start calling that shit, nigga. You up under the Booker T. You were. You got Booker T. You got told you wasn't good enough. You fell down. They told you your only job was to like old girl said. What was it on Fox? What is it? Just dribble and shut up.
Yeah, shut up and dribble. Yeah.
Shut up and dribble. And that's what they was doing for so fucking long. And Colin Kaepernick was like, man, I'm tired of seeing. Every time I go home and turn on the news, I'm seeing somebody who look like me being murdered in the street. Not fuck the whole black on black crime, because at the end of the day, if you really want to point fingers, this is the society, and I don't want to just blame all white people, but society as a whole is the reason.
Yeah.
You put crack in the damn neighborhood. You did all this shit. Niggas ain't have folks bringing crack and cocaine into the land. This is shit. You caused that shit.
But you know how I feel about that? I feel like, y'all remember it was a couple of years ago now when they brought those big trucks in. Remember that shit? And they was like, well, if you don't steal, you ain't got no issue. That's how I feel about crack. You see what I'm saying? They bring it in the neighborhood, they tempt you with it, but then they say, but if you were an honest person, you wouldn't fuck with it anyway. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's still a bad look anyway. It's a bad look anyway, though. Because you couldn't, anytime you get people with limited resources, tempting them with resources, it's not the fucking way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the image of dangling the horse. I mean, dangling the carrot from the horse to make it broad time.
Right, but then getting mad when he eat the carrot.
And that's basically right. But if he eat the carrot, there's something wrong with the horse.
Exactly. And that's how, and that's how I feel. Like, that's why I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? You can't tempt people. You can't tempt a thirsty person to watch your drink.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you telling me to watch the water.
And then get upset when you drink your water. Like, why did you do that? Like, nigga, I ain't had water in 3 days. You know this. You know what I'm saying? You just gave me a fresh bottle of Aquafina telling me, hey, watch this for me.
So let me ask y'all this. So where do you think all of this rioting and protesting, where do you think it's gonna end?
It's not.
Do you see the outcome?
I don't see an outcome, or I don't see an ending, because my fear is you just had Jacob Blake get shot 7 times a few days ago. My fear is we will not end the year without 2 more unarmed black people being shot. So I don't see an ending.
Well, I don't agree.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see an ending.
I think we're gonna have problems for fall.
Yeah, remember, we was just pissed off about Breonna Taylor, and her killers still ain't get brought to justice. And look at this shit that happened after that. Jacob Blake.
And that's why I say everything, the reform all the way down. Because police need to be, when you kill an unarmed person, black, white, whatever, you need to be brought up and investigated and charged the same way as that badge should not shield you from murdering somebody.
I say add on a hate crime.
You know what I'm saying? There ain't even gotta be a hate crime, because look at the white dude that was playing video games in his crib, answered the door, and the police killed him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, like, come on, like, yeah, he had a gun in his hand. Y'all can't bang it on his door. He didn't step outside with a gun. He had the gun in his hand because somebody was banging on his door.
Yeah, but he had a gun in his hand. That makes more sense.
What? Stezo, if somebody's banging on your door, when you and your girl, and it wasn't like it was a domestic dispute, or you know, it was arguing, they was in there playing 50 years old, and he was playing video games. And somebody came banging on his door, and they came to the door in his drawers with his gun in his hand. The first officer got police, he's like, oh, okay. He went to go put his gun down, and the other officer shot him and killed him.
I mean, yeah, but
that's how really similar to somebody walking in your crib, you firing your gun at them because they walking around in your house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Police returns fire every other table for kill.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making. Like, man, they were in their home, and the police came to their door. They didn't step outside with no firearms, weapons. They weren't threatening you. You weren't actually the threat. You came to their door at 2, 3 in the morning. They didn't know who you were. Anybody can say it's the police. Well, let me look out this hole and make sure it's the damn police.
But you telling me he looked out the fucking door, seen it was the police, and kept the gun in his hand?
I don't think that's why. I think he opened up the door. And if you look at the video, the door wasn't fully open. It was cracked. And he cracked the door open and was like, okay, he had the gun in his hand. And the dude was like, man, it's the police, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Let me see your bags and shit. Like, man, just don't come to my door, banging on my door in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Any hour. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know who you are, and then, you know, he identified it, so I'm like, okay. He was literally putting the gun down, and the other officer shot his ass. Yeah. Not even the guy who, he didn't even, I don't even think he saw the other officer. They shot him. He was talking to the officer, and that was the thing too, the officer who knocked on his door stepped off of the porch and stepped back when he answered the door. Like, okay, like, you have to identify yourself. Like, you know the thing, I can come bang on your door and say, police.
Right, I'm just banging on the door.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And I know because if somebody banging on the door, the first thing I'm doing is grabbing my pistol and answering the door. Something like this.
Yeah. But when you see it's police, are you cracking the door with the gun in your hand?
Bro, look, if you watch the video, he wasn't talking to dude for 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. Like, he literally, it ain't like he had a conversation with the motherfucker. He opened up the door, dude was like police, and then pow, 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 pow. Like, it was just that quick.
Yeah, I gotta see that. Yeah, I ain't see that one.
It wasn't like he was sitting there having a conversation with the motherfucker. When dude identified that he was a police officer, he was going, you could see him, he was going to put his gun down, because he was like, why the fuck y'all banging on my damn door?
Is it wrong that I'm like, well, that's kind of y'all fault because y'all made the police this way?
No, because nobody makes the police that way. Your job is to value life above all. You're a police officer. You signed up for this. You knew it was a high-risk, high-stake job. That's why you're none of us police.
But if your bosses don't, enforce that fucking sentiment, it's their fault.
Stezo, reform all the way down.
That's what I'm saying. Until reform, they got them out here on that gung-ho shit. Like, think about this. During the crack era, they gave the police so many motherfucking toys for crack dealers. They gave them fucking tanks to open up doors, dog. Come on now.
So technically, technically, that was still SWAT. Where police got militarized was after 9/11. After 9/11, police got militarized to handle terror in the wake of possible terrorist threats. That means regular police officers were getting assault rifles and tanks and shit like that.
No, they got that in the 90s.
No, what happened is you had branches of the police department. You had SWAT and shit that did that shit. It was SWAT that started raids and all that. Look it up, Stezo.
No, I did. After 9/11, local police officers got more motherfucking latitude where you had patrol officers able to carry AR-15s. But it wasn't SWAT that was issuing the motherfucking warrants or those motherfucking house arrests and none of that shit. No, that wasn't SWAT.
Don't understand. Right, don't understand.
After 9/11 is when they started empowering them more to local. To be more local officers to be more aggressive with handling the law, basically.
No, they gave every officer the right to handle the law.
Right. Exactly.
Killing these more powerful weapons.
Exactly. There was no hierarchy of, so when do you call in SWAT? Nigga, any no-knock warrant should not be done by local officers.
No, I agree. I agree.
Like, first of all, no-knock warrants is
Illegal.
bullshit in itself. Because, motherfucker, you just should not be able to bust in somebody's door as you can see, because you can get the fuck wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
the whole Breonna Taylor, how these niggas are not brought up on charges is bewildering to me. When they already had the fucking person that they were supposedly looking for in their jail.
because the paperwork, like that Breonna Taylor case, you know what I'm saying, I studied it and I see why them cops ain't brought up, because it's gonna be too many motherfuckers that gotta fall on that sword. Too many.
Exactly. But guess what? They all need to follow. At the end of the day, you want to stop all of this rioting and looting and burning shit down? That's the problem. Nobody wants to take that in.
Yeah, because the L gotta come from up top. Like, basically, you gotta go under the king and say, okay, from under the king, some of you motherfuckers gotta fall on this sword. And they all saying, no, we need these beat cops to fall on that sword.
Yeah, and no, the big cops do need to fall on the sword because they're the ones who actually pull the trigger. But the motherfuckers that sent them out, they're supposed to actually need to fall.
That's what I'm saying. The ones who sent them trying to get the beat cops to fall, and the beat cops like, we going off y'all information. Like, think about this. It's a reason you do no-knock warrants at night.
Yep.
We not dumb. You know what I'm saying? We know why y'all not doing that shit at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? So your risk of fatality goes up at night. You know why? Because they don't know who the fuck you are coming through that door. So somebody said the risk is worth the reward. Who are those somebodies?
And that's the thing about it, though. And you gotta understand, and this is the thing that kills me. Why is it that, at least from what I can see, maybe I can't see the whole picture, but why it always seems like the no-knock warrants and all of that shit is done in the poor black neighborhoods? Like, I don't see them doing no-knock warrants on, you know what I'm saying, in the white neighborhoods that motherfuckers actually get the supplier with the drugs now.
They ain't stupid. They ain't stupid because the resistance and the backlash, if something go wrong, is gonna be worse in a white neighborhood because you don't know who might be in that house. You fuck around, hit that house, you got Biden nephew in there or some shit. You know what I'm saying? They already know. You hit a whole neighborhood.
Now, I'm not saying that they don't do things in race, but why it seems on the news is always bright outside and white outside when they doing that shit.
Yeah, because they covering their ass. We know when we... See, that's the problem I have with it when everybody get mad at the protesters. Like, we know what the fuck going on. So don't act like you don't know why these protesters pissed off. You know what I'm saying? We know what's going on. We done seen the articles where the white woman got caught with all kind of drugs, and they didn't call it a crack house. They called it a lavish loft where cocaine was used and produced. You hear the difference?
That's the best way I've ever heard a drug house described.
Exactly. A lavish loft.
But what's the dude I'm thinking of? What's the British dude who used to do like Styles of the Rich and Famous?
Oh, Robin Leach?
That's Robin Leach describing the drug house. A lavish loft where cocaine and drugs were produced.
Right, but that's the beauty.
When I was younger, you remember about 10, might not even been that long, but it might have been about 10 years ago, when the white madam or whatever it was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so why didn't they want her ass as a pimp?
Right. She was called a madam. She was called a madam. Right. She was called a madam. Right. But remember, they were called high clientele. You know what I'm saying? High. No. The men were called high clientele. for this madam.
They call motherfucking tulips. Nigga, that was on the internet. It's called weddings.
High clientele. They dealt with high clientele. They didn't deal with Johns and tricks. They dealt with high clientele.
Bitch, you a prostitute. You a two bitch. They don't give a fuck what you say.
Hey, look at it like this. Look at it like this. It's the amount of money they made. Like, y'all know how the weed game changed. When Dro and Kush came on the scene, all of a sudden, we started getting a different level of penalty because of the money being made. It's the same thing in their world. When the money start getting made a certain way, they start giving you fancy names. I never forget, out in the south suburbs, it was this dude. He wasn't even selling out there, but he had ties to the city. And the article said, the man with manicured grass. And I'm like, what the fuck is manicured grass? They made it sound like his lawn care was using scissors. You know what I'm saying? Manicured grass. But they was just telling you his grass was too good when it got cut that it gave them suspicion that maybe he was illegal. Manicured grass.
I used to tell chicks when I worked at Popeyes that I was manufacturing and distributing poultry. And they thought that shit was fine.
Exactly. See how it sound? It sound better than I'm a cook at Popeyes.
I like chicken, bitch. I'm a wing slang.
Yeah.
I'm in manufacturing and distributing. That's what it is.
Like,
I find a bitch there, I can give it to you.
like, look, a dude that sell crack can be like, no, I'm an importer exporter. That shit sounds fancy. Sounds fancy. That's what they do.
Until everybody above the age of 50 is out of their high-ranking jobs, there will be no change. And if it is some change, all of them motherfuckers that's above 50 that been in this, they're only doing it for the social media shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you felt that this shit was fucked up, like they say, oh man, we're not all bad, you know, not all cops are bad. But why the good cops ain't telling on the bad cops? Why these other senators and politicians, they ain't trying to change the laws and shit like that that's been around since they've been in office?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And for the few that probably have or were trying to change it, they got them out of office.
Hey, Paris say you probably see a change after the election and Trump is out of office.
Nope, maybe not. Maybe not.
You know?
He said he wasn't gonna have to Trump get out of office. Honestly, the Trump getting out of office will be one of two things. Either number one, it is going to incite more riots and more violence because he has empowered all of the damn white supremacist haters. Alright? It's either gonna be that or it's gonna put them back in the hiding like they've been for the last 8 years to Obama. They've always been here. They was just keeping their mouth shut. I'd rather have the motherfuckers out in the forefront than point their ass out and don't fuck me up.
Yeah. They learned from that mistake. They learned from that mistake. They gonna go back to the fucking shadow.
And I swear to God, all the TV torch motherfuckers. Yeah. Real talk. And that's what's going to happen. And that's the reason why I said, once again, that's why they all need to know. Because now, being on the Black Lives Matter, remember when Black Lives Matter first came out? And all those little chant Black Lives Matter and shit, they were a terrorist group. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Now everybody got Black Lives Matter shirts and all of this other shit on there. So, because it's what's popular right now, it's what's social. Nah, nigga, that shit's always been true.
Yep. I agree.
So my thing is, all of them motherfuckers need to go. They all need to go. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you like them, if you voted for them, everybody need to go. I don't want to see a motherfucker in Congress, in the Senate, in no law office of the land, no chief, no motherfucking Secretary of State, no captain. I want to see nobody above 40,000. All of them need to change. There needs to be limitation
I mean, I never thought about that. If the president has limited time, yeah, they should have limited time too.
How the hell Ruth Bader Ginsburg is on the Supreme Court and she ran 2 strokes, 3 heart attacks, and fought cancer 3 times, and she got a goddamn nurse at the crib, a 24-hour nurse. How the fuck you working when you got a goddamn 24-hour nurse?
And if I remember my social studies class, right? Wouldn't she take over, like, if the president, vice president, and the speaker of the House died, wouldn't she take over the president?
Yep.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a TV show on ABC about that shit. I forgot what it was called. Kiefer Sutherland starred in that shit.
Designated survivor.
Yeah.
That's something different. That's something different. I mean, like, if like one day the president died, then like we years or so later.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It goes down to after that it's the speaker, and then if the speaker died, I think it might be one of the Supreme Court people.
What's the Supreme Court justice?
I think it's one of the Supreme, but it's like 6 or 12 of them or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they all old as fucking Methuselahs.
That would be straight up with you. I don't know who the Supreme Court justice.
Man, it's like 6 or 8 of them in the Supreme Court. Like I said, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the black dude that I thought was dead that died 2 years ago with Panther. And like everybody is old as shit. And their logic is that, they've been in the, around the law so long, and they know it, but laws change constantly. Like, man, and a lot of the laws that were written and enforced don't apply or need to be changed to this day. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so old. You know what I'm saying? So you following those old ass laws sometimes don't apply to new era problems. Like with the cops. You mean to tell me you can't? I was reading an article not too long ago, maybe about it was in 2020, where the chief and whoever was above the chief was trying to fire this cop because he had so many complaints and shit like that, and they couldn't fire him because for some odd reason they couldn't fire him, and then he wound up shooting somebody, and that's what kind of brought everything to light. And they come to find out his boss and his boss's boss had been trying to fire him for years, but because of the way that the laws work, it's hard as fuck to get rid of a cop. I mean, those same cops that got charged for murder, they got charged. Do you know that they can go to another precinct in another state and become a cop? They just can't become a cop in the state that they got fired in? What kind of sense does that fuck you in? If you got fired from your job of being a cop, you should never be able to be a security guard no more.
Yeah, it's some kind of what you call it? I don't know what it's called, but yeah, you're right. It's some type of it's not a law, but I don't know what it is. Is it a certificate or some shit that they gotta get? Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that as an officer, I can shoot and kill somebody in Illinois and go to Minnesota and become a cop?
Yeah, that's all they do. They just go to another state. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta look it up. What is that shit called? Go ahead, Yellow.
But I quit Dollar Tree. And you ain't working at another Dollar Tree. And went to try to get a job at Family Dollar, and they told me I couldn't work there because I left Dollar Tree last day. Yup. Somebody tell me this country ain't fucked up. Right. Fuck, we gonna make this shit great again.
And that's what I'm saying, like, this country ain't never been great. That whole great again slogan is the dumbest shit on the planet because it only applies to one race of people. Even though you got so many races in this country.
Okay, here it is. It's called Out-of-State Train Reciprocity. Oh, shit. Is this...
Reciprocity.
Is it reciprocity or RECIPROCITY?
Reciprocity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they got a protest about that shit. Like, they got it's called a process, but they got a protest trying to change that shit right now.
Man. Bro, that shit happens so many times. In so many cases of a police officer being fired in one state and going to another state. And it was one that he was forced to, they actually gave him the option of being fired or forced to retire.
Mm-hmm.
He was forced to retire, and then he went to Florida and became the damn cop. Like, nigga, this shit is fucked up.
It is fucked up. Alright, anybody got some last remarks on this shit? You know, we started talking about Chadwick. We got into a very serious discussion about police reform and all the bullshit going on in 2020. So we touched on a lot on this one.
Yeah, man. My closing remarks is 2020. What is it? It's August 28th, 2020. I'm going to bed. I'm waking up in March in 2020. No more bullshit. I don't see no more bullshit. Kobe died. Chadwick died. I'm done with 2020. 2020. The year's over. Half a billion tomorrow.
What you got, Yellow?
I guess I could be cryptic. You know, we got cryptic. I mean, today we lost a king. You know what I'm saying? Today we lost a king. We're coming for that.
I just want to say, you know, the basic R.I.P. to Chadwick. I hope his family and friends, you know, can deal with this the best they can, because death is never easy. And I want to give y'all some brighter news. This show is brought to you by Lucky's Cafe. Now, in these times, you gonna need, you know what I'm saying, some good news and some good food. And Lucky's Cafe really does bring you that. They're located in the Chicagoland area, downtown kinda-ish, at 1512 West Taylor Street. Just go in there, tell them you need some good food. They got a great menu. It changes, but the basic stays the same. You can tell them Stezo sent you. I'm not saying you gonna get something free. I'm not saying you not gonna get something free. But I guarantee you gonna enjoy that food, man. Lucky's Cafe, 1512 West Taylor Street, Chicago, Illinois. And as always, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. If you got any comments, reactions, or concerns to what we said tonight or on any show, hit us up at Stezo Radio, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Yahoo. And yeah, I agree with Yellow. We lost the king. We lost the king. But on that note, y'all, try your best to live your best. And we out.